want to ask you, you were calling upon the youth of this country, and you said the youth of this country should answer on why parliamentary procedures were given a go-by, standing committees, scrutinizing of bills, whether that's right or not. But the youth of India will also ask you a question, that is it a mere coincidence that in 2005 over Bangladeshi immigrants, Mamata Banerjee tears up papers in parliament. In 2019, Mr. Derek O'Brien, during the Farm Law Bill discussion, goes up, tries to pull off the mic from the deputy chairperson's desk. In 2021, there is Dr. Shantanu Sen who goes and tears up the statement of the IT minister. And all along they're saying our questions are not being answered. The questions can be answered when there's decorum in the House. But let me ask you, in the middle of this entire Pegasus issues that you are...
Long introduction without a question at the tail. Chalo, it's your studio, it's your show. Main to mehman hu, so I'll have to go by your rules. You give a long intro and I'm waiting for the question, and the Duke, there is no question. Cool.
I'm asking you the question, have you seen the statement made by Amnesty International? And Amnesty International statement says that this list of 50,000 people, which has become this great issue dividing our parliament apart from questions being raised in other countries, how many of these phone numbers were actually NSO phone numbers? How many of these were potential targets? How many of these were analyzed in terms of FSL analysis? And the City Lab associated with Amnesty, do you know the chief research technical team person from City Lab is now in Amnesty, and therefore there are many questions about the investigation itself, or don't they strike you when you read the facts of the case?
Yeah, now that you finished reading the BJP handout, which is fine. That's your democratic right as an anchor. You can read whichever.
I'm reading from the Amnesty statement.
You can read any handout you want. That's not my business.
That's all right.
I go back to my simple question.
That's all right, because judge, jury, dono aap to nahi ho sakte.
I go back to my simple question. Next time, tomorrow, day after, you have very Times Now has wonderful popcorn interviews with the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. When you do interview them, all lollipop questions. The body language is not the body language you have today, which is cool, that's your right, that's your anchor. Ask the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, here's my question. Did the Indian government hire this military software and hardware? Question, did you hire it? Yes, no. Who hired it? When was it hired? What was the cost? Answer these questions, not because Trinamool Congress asked. The people of India want to know. And why? Because there are judges involved, there's the media involved, there are opponents involved. My General Secretary, Abhishek Banerjee, is involved because you couldn't beat him in Bengal, because you outspent us, you used all kinds of power, money, misogyny, muscle, mark, mind games, manipulation, and we thrashed the hell out of the BJP in Bengal. So you still lost. Now you have to answer these questions. And I appeal to the media. That's why I'm glad I'm in the studio. You're giving me an opportunity to express my opinion. And I appreciate that. These are the questions which have to be answered. These are the hard questions. And lo and behold, if tomorrow some other names pop up, which go into other gray areas, let's say like defense, then what happens? So these are the serious questions.
Fair questions, no quarrel with those questions, and yes, the government should answer each one of them if they haven't already. But I want to ask you, Mr. Rahul Gandhi today says that each of his phones are being tapped. Initially, he made the statement saying that I've changed my number, so I don't know. Now each of his phones are being tapped. You say Abhishek Banerjee's phone is being tapped. I want to ask you, would you not file, if it's such a serious matter and you think it is a breach of security of the country, then should there not be an investigation? Should there not be a filing of a complaint? Should there not be moving of the highest court of the land to raise all of these issues? Yes. I want to ask you. Why is it only in studios or in parliament tearing papers?
Should they not? What did you say? Should they not put an FIR? Right? Yeah. So this was the line used by the BJP spokespersons on Friday evening on national television. That can be the BJP view. We believe that we will raise this in two places. We will raise this in Parliament. And when I say we, I talk for Trinamool, but without being pompous, I do understand that there are many political parties, including the Congress, the DMK and others, who want a discussion, a structured discussion in Parliament And after that, there is also a way of looking at it in the judiciary. These are the two big issues. But there is a bigger issue here. Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah themselves, they have a pretty impressive track record of snooping and snooping is a very soft word, of hacking from their 2002 days. And I don't want to go there because then I'll have to discuss stuff like why didn't the Gujarat Chief Minister get a visa to the United States? But that's all history. Let's leave the history behind. Let's be in the present.
So then, history of Trinamool Congress should be not going to...
Please tell me. I'm very proud of a history of Trinamool Congress. I only asked for a 30-second advertising spot to tell you the history of the Trinamool Congress. 26-day hunger strike for farmers. Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress. Note Bandi, when no other party said withdraw this draconian, who tweeted in 10 minutes after the announcement? Trinamool Congress. Who spoiled the misogyny of the Congress party in 1990s? They were like an alliance with the CPIM, and Mamata Banerjee had to fight the biggest battle of her life. That is the Trinamool Congress. Who left the Congress in 1997 to form her own party? The only woman chief minister of India today. Not easy, Ms. Kumar. Struggle. The struggle, the struggle, the struggle. Today she is a 3-time chief minister, a 7-time MP, a multiple minister. It's struggle, it doesn't come easy. And the great thing about this lady, and let me say this because otherwise, you know, it's more than scientific, and this time we had a very good team. We had Abhishek Banerjee, we had a fabulous political strategy team, Prashant, IPAC and all else, and we had the blessings of people across the country. They were calling up, they were finding out, because on one side we had the BJP manifesto, and on the other side we had the Constitution of India.